Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a good set of bingo-y tiles, but is there a bingo here? And I'm not sure there is. Certainly very high probability should it exist. Well, Rincier is not good. I don't have the tiles for re-risen. I am inclined to change because I have such a good 5-letter set in Rinse that I'll just change the duplicates and be in a very strong position to bingo. Pretty good. There may be a 7 here, certainly very high probability, and certainly will make a ton of 8s. So, wow, great start for opponent. I was just wondering what to do if opponent were to change as well, but he hasn't. Now, the double-double lane is column 5. This message is a bit alarming. It is recommended to restart the program, but I'm not experiencing any problems, so I think I'll carry on. So this rack plus an A. Can't see anything. So how about the T? Do I have a play in column 8? And I do. I have Oneriest for 77. And that's not bad. Fairly balanced. And I should be able to leave a pretty good rack leave by getting rid of the F and the Y. Possibly with the O as well. And I note that Foy is good. So I have Foy and Kai. Okay, nice play by opponent. 28 points. Turns over a lot of tiles. And he leads by about 30 points. So I have Fay in row D, but I'd much rather keep the A. Engage takes nothing in front. Just wondering if I can get my F and Y tripled. Not sure I can. What about through this E? Not seeing anything. What about playing straight down column 6, getting the F and Y on these triple letter squares? No. So I could just play Fay. Doesn't feel great. Ah, well, what about this? Foys for 30, keeping Dart, and that's not giving terribly much away. I'm going with this. Not a good pickup. Duplicate A and the U, and just generally a poor rack. I'm not seeing any 7s or 8s with this rack. Wow, fantastic start for opponent. In particular, playing a bingo after having jettisoned or played 6 tiles on his previous play, and I'm not in a position to respond despite all these lovely floaters. Gosh, close to Toad Rush, 1 tile away. I am examining these floaters in case I have a bingo, however unlikely. But I'm not seeing one. So, how to sort the rack out? Certainly playing off H, A and U. Possibly taking out column 15. I am a bingo behind, but there are plenty of bingo lanes on this board. So, is there anywhere to play Horde? Well, there is. And 31 points, pretty decent score. And this rack leave of ART goes pretty well with the floaters in repletes. And this S in the middle of column 15, not massively dangerous. So I'm going with this. Not a good pickup. No 7 or 8 comes to mind. But I do have a scoring tile in the V. That goes above OR. 37 points for opponent, nice score. So I can sort out my duplicates by playing Ravs. For 21, this is quite a nice rack leave. I'm still leaving alone the E's in repletes. I'm denying my opponent the opportunity of playing in column 15. And there are bingo lanes on the board. I have a T for going underneath the S, and column 10 through the S also available. I'm just wondering about playing down from the S to create additional bingo lanes, but I think if I did, I would be leaving a worse rack leave. This is a nice rack leave, and it goes particularly well with the E, and there are still 5 E's to come. I'm going with this. That looks a lot better. I could well have a bingo here, and there are quite a few floaters to consider. So, where do I start? I do have duplicate T and the O, which isn't the greatest. I would have ornatest through an S, but the S of karate's in the wrong spot. Opponent scoring solidly, now about 100 points ahead. The L not available as a floater. Opponent has obstructed the E's by playing futs, but even had he not done so, I don't think I would have had a bingo through one of them. So, is there a 7-letter play with this rack? I would have Tevatron through a V. But what about a 7? Well, I don't think ornatest has an anagram, which suggests that there may not be a 7. Not seeing anything. So, what are the floaters to consider? Well, there's the E of karate's. And there's the K. Not seeing anything there. Now, I've only got 1-point tiles, which means I may struggle to score. And I'm not in good shape since I'm 100 behind. Cad takes an E in front, so I could wreck the rack with ornate. And I'm minded to. There are 2 blanks to come. This scores 28 points, which, given that I'm 100 points behind, I think what I need to do is to be scoring scores of this order and bingoing. And what I mean by that is that I can't really afford to play off just a couple of tiles for 10 points and then bingo, because that's not going to be enough to win. So, ornate for 28. I do draw a blank, but the rest of the rack is pretty junky. It's unbalanced with just 1 vowel, and I've got VWW. And it may be worth changing the last 4 of these tiles, because I'm not sure I can sort it out in one play. Wow. Just 22 for opponent, and Cog takes an S in front, so opponent could well have the last S. Or, even worse, the last S and the other blank. Very few vowels on the board to play through. I see no way of getting rid of 2 out of VWW. So I am going to change. Wow, a lot of I's to come, but I think I will still keep 1. Well, that's a much nicer rack. I certainly will not be changing here. I have Exility. Don't think that goes anywhere. Column 1, a bingo lane for bingos beginning with O. Wow, great bingo for opponent. Now, he's opened up a triple lane. Do I have such a play? probably beginning with IN. Wow. This looks close, but I'm not sure there is one here. And I pretty much could do with one since I trail by 160 points. So I would have anxiety with the blank as an A, but that's not a bingo. I can get a score from my X by playing EX, but that leaves a pretty poor rack leave. Socks is good. So I do have XI here for more than that was showing, for 53 points and keeping the triple lane open, which opponent is almost certain to take. And Socks takes no hooks at the end, so this isn't great, and I'm retaining the Y. Am I sure there's nowhere for Exility? Well, even if there were, I would be burning the blank, whereas this play scores 53 points and preserves the blank, so I think this has got to be the better play. I think the only thing better than this would probably be a play through the N. And I do hope that I'm not missing a bingo through that. It wouldn't have to be a triple. Any bingo would score well. But I don't think, well, I haven't seen one, so I'm going with Z. More I's and a lot of vowels. Still one S to come. And I trail by 100. Do I have anything through? Well, not really surprising. Good score for opponent, and he gets rid of junky tiles. Still the Q, the U, and VWW to come. Now, Benum takes an S, Cog takes an S, so this blank quite useful. But I need to sort the rack out. I need to get rid of the Y. And at least one of the I's. So where can I do that? Not sure I've seen anywhere for my Y to date. What about a play? Well, I have moiety. I'm hesitant about this play because it's expediting the end of the game. It's only 22 points. But it's creating some new floaters. And it's taking out the S hook for Benum. But I think the creation of new bingo lanes compensates. And I don't have an S, I have a blank. And this certainly sorts out my vowel consonant problem. Am I missing a better way of doing that? Only 22 points. My Y can go underneath GU to make Guy, but I can't see a way of playing off an I in that spot. And I can't see a way of playing I and Y down from the C of Cog, and in any event that would disrupt the S hook. I'm going with this. Wow, I draw the Q. I have Chin and Chi on my rack. If the blank were a U, I would have a bingo through an A with quintars, but no floating A available. 29 for opponent, he burns the J. So, and I have the S to go with the blank, so I could play chins and cogs, and that might be worth doing, because I would still retain the blank, and there are still bingo lanes. And that would be about 40 points, which is a decent score. The only argument for not playing that would be if I could get something similar elsewhere, and I'm not sure I can. It's absolutely essential that I burn the queue. It's hampering my bingo prospects. So I could play Chi and If for 25 points. But this is an extra 15 points, and it's not giving anything away because Q takes nothing to its left, Skog takes nothing to its left, so the best opponent can do with this triple word square is a 2-letter play with a 1-point tile on the square itself. Now, I have Kintars on my rack. Let me take this back. I'm just having a second thought. I do have a bingo on my rack, Kintars, and I'm pretty sure there's nowhere to play it, but I just want to check that that is the case. Moiety takes nothing at the end, nor does Socks. Kintars doesn't play in column 2. Yes, there's nowhere for Kintars. So Chins for 40. Wow, what a pickup. That's pretty good. Only 8 tiles in the bag, and they're not great tiles. Can I get a bingo down? It's really just the floaters in moiety, and opponent may well seek to obstruct those, but he may struggle to do so with all these W's and V's. Pretty good. I have spy rated in row O, but opponent got 37 for wand, so I trail by 149 points. So this isn't going to be good enough to win, but at least it's going to provide some respectability in the score. I can't reach this double letter square. So spy rated for 80. And I can now see what opponent's got. He hasn't got a great rack, but it's not terrible, so he may have options for going out in 2. And I don't think I will be going out in 1. I would have while onto a floating E, but all the E's have been played. Nice score for opponent. He scored pretty solidly throughout this game, as you can see. He's closing in on the 500-point mark. 5 minutes on my clock. I'm just looking at the floaters in spy rated in case I have a 5-letter play onto one of them, but I don't think I do. Now, opponent is not going out in 1 with this rack, I don't think. Which means I will get 2 plays, so I certainly should be able to go out in 2. How do I do that? Neither of my scoring tiles goes in front of OR. I don't have anything good down from the C or down from KO. 4 minutes on my clock. I could play WHA for 13 points. That's pretty lame. Hob is good, but that's just the play of a single tile. I could play HI, leaving WL. 3 minutes on my clock, and I'm only seeking to minimize the losing spread. The game is lost. So I could play were for 14. Do I have 2 spots for my L, Li, Li, and Li up here? So certainly I can go out in 2 by playing were. What does whip score? 14 points. That scores the same. Just none of these plays score very much. 2 minutes on my clock. So, is there anything better than were? This doesn't feel great. But the whole board is pretty tight. Nowhere for whiz. Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything better than this. Well, 1 minute on my clock. What about doing this? Yawl for 14, the same number of points, but surely I can score more with HI. 1 minute on my clock. I've got 5, for example, in column 10. And I've got his, so and chi, so this is a better play. I'm going with this. Now, where's the best possible spot for HI? 10 points for Phi. 8 for Chai. I have high, high, and in, which I probably should have done first. Opponent could put a solitary tile there. Yeah, that's 26 points, so I should have done that first. Opponent doesn't go there. Wow, that's a stroke of good fortune since I didn't plan this, but I do have high for 26 to go out. And the final score, 424 for me, 489 for my opponent, a winning margin of 65 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. Phew, no missed bingo here. Rin for 6, keeping rise. I prefer changing. The N, I think, adds more than 6 to this rack leave. EIRS is a great 4-letter set, but Rinse is a really great 5-letter set. Opponent's rack, and a fantastic start for him with Karates. Now I have Oneriest, and that was the best bingo. Opponent's rack, and this is where he turns over a lot of tiles, plays engaged, retaining the T. Wow, Fadey, that's nice. D1. Yeah, that's really nice. What did I do? I played Foys for 30, keeping Dart. Well, Dart is not 13 points better than ORT. It is a better rack leave, but I would say ORT must be worth about plus 4 or 5. And Dart, maybe plus 8 or 9, but certainly not 13. Now, opponent's rack, and he has a choice of bingo, so fantastic pickup, having retained just the T. And my rack, no bingo here, and I play Horde for 31, keeping Art, and I prefer that to Dar, I5, Dar, keeping the U along with the R, scoring 3 more points, but I think the U damages this rack leave by more than 3 points, possibly damaging it by 6 or 7. So Art must be worth 6 or 7 points, but Ratu, I would say, is back down in the plus 2 maybe, or maybe even lower. Opponent's rack plays Canid, and I now trail by 90. Vorant, I've seen that before. So I play Rabs for 21, and there weren't many more points on offer. Opponent's rack plays Futs, and now I do have a good rack, but I couldn't see a bingo, and there was none. So I play Ornate for 28, but there was 30 points available. E5. Running underneath Horde, underneath GU, and keeping a better rack leave. I think ORT and NOT are better rack leaves than just T. Now, opponent's rack plays Cog, and the game isn't over at this point. I trail by 90, and I do have the blank, but the rest of my rack is junk. And I change, and I think that's the right thing to do. Even scoring 21 points, VW's pretty grim. I9, Wit. Yeah, Wit is a nice play. It's opening up a bingo lane. And, well, I think that's a close one. But V and W together on the same rack is... it's really remote that I would bingo from this position, so I still like changing. Great rack for opponent. He finds the only bingo, and now I'm in a really sticky position because I'm 150 points behind, and I really need to triple immediately. And there is no such play. So J13, EX, keeping double I, and that may be worth doing because it sort of interferes with column 15. However, X takes an O at the end and there are 3 to come, so I prefer my play, retaining the E. Now, opponent doesn't have an O, plays Benum for 42, and now I'm 140 behind. And I play Moiety for 22, and none of the other plays sort the rack out, so I still like that. Opponent plays Joe, and I trail by 150. Wow, Squint, I2. Squint and Cog for 75 points. What I do is Chins for 40, retaining the blank, and I prefer my play. Blank RT, definitely more than 25 points. Well, these plays are going to be fairly similar in terms of score and rack leave, but I think what I need is to play Chins and to get a big score from the blank, so it's not just about score and rack leave. In order to win this game, I need to have a run of really high scores, and the possibility of that is pretty remote, but it's maximised by playing Chins. Opponent's rack, he has Winard, nowhere for that, plays Wand, 4 tiles in the bag, and I have Spy rated for 80, and nothing scores more. Opponent's rack, he plays Livor, and now I'm 90 points behind. I couldn't see an out in 1. High was the play that I made next turn, and I played Yawl this turn. Opponent's rack plays Uni, and finally High for 26 is best. So, what a game. Absolutely cracking start for opponent with Karates, and then we had a wide open board spreading to pretty much all 4 corners, and plenty of bingo action throughout the game. So many thanks to my opponent once again for a great battle, and congratulations to him for winning. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.